Our third history lesson is all about Boudicca's rebellion. And some people say Boudicca, some people say Boudicca. It doesn't really matter how you choose. The unistructural for this lesson is to know that the Roman Empire affected people in Britain. Multistructural is to describe the feelings of a person in Britain when the Romans invaded. Relational is to explain how different people in Britain would have felt when the Romans invaded and how they reacted to the change. Finally, the extended abstract is to identify who you think would be most happy with the outcome of Boudicca's rebellion and fully justify your answer. You may have to pause this video as there is a lot of information to listen to and to read. So let's set the scene. The year is AD 60. The Romans have occupied Britain for 17 years. Many Celtic tribes have managed to continue to live in much the same way they always did, making deals with the Romans to leave them in peace. However, a major rebellion is about to take place, which will affect the lives of many people, Celts and Romans alike. You are going to examine the events and act in a role to show how different people would have been affected. Let's meet the characters. So these are the 6 people we are going to focus on during this lesson. And at the end, I will ask you to choose one person to write about. So we have Eileen, who was a Roman slave. We have Rastus, who was a Roman trader. Boudicca, who was a Celtic queen. Milo, a Roman soldier. Paulinus, Roman governor. And Drest, a Celtic farmer. Eileen was captured in a battle in Gaul. She now lives in Colchester. She belongs to the Roman governor Paulinus. She is his property. She spends all day serving Paulinus's family, which is hard work. She would like to escape and go back to Gaul, but if she gets caught, she will be killed. This is Paulinus, and he is a Roman governor. He was a great soldier and a general before he was made governor. The emperor sent him to rule over Roman Britain. He is very loyal to the emperor and the Roman Empire. He was born in Rome and now lives in Colchester, the new Roman town. Milo is a legionary. He was born in Rome. Milo hasn't done much fighting yet, apart from in training. He has been warned that the Celts are very violent people, but they seem quite friendly to him. This is Rastus, and he's a Roman trader. Rastus is from Rome. He travels around the Roman Empire selling his fabrics. He likes selling to rich Celts as well as Romans. Then we have Drest, and he was a Celtic farmer. Drest has lived in the same place with the Iceni people all his life, like his parents did. The Iceni people are Boudicca's tribe, her group of people that she is the queen of. He works hard on his farm to grow crops and keep animals. He likes to live a peaceful life. He is loyal to the king and queen of the Iceni. This is Boudicca. She was a Celtic queen. With her husband, King Prasutagus, Boudicca rules over the Iceni. She lives in southeast England. She is very rich and likes being able to buy from traders. She has 2 daughters. Boudicca and the rest of her tribe have continued their Celtic life since the Romans have arrived. There has been no fighting. Let's think about different perspectives, and that means how different people think. Think about this question. What problems do you think there might be at this point in history? The Romans are invading Britain, slowly taking over the land. The Iceni tribe haven't fought with them yet, but do you think maybe they might? Do you think the Romans like the Iceni and the Iceni like the Romans? The next thing I'd like you to think about is, which of the characters do you think is most likely to cause problems? So out of all of these 6 people, who do you think would cause the most problems? Would it be a slave, a queen, a governor, a farmer, a trader, or a soldier? And who do you think is least likely to cause problems? And why? Why wouldn't they cause very many problems? So what happens next? This is AD 60. What do you think might happen? We have the Romans and the Iceni. The death of Prasutagus. Prasutagus dies. Boudicca is now ruling the Iceni on her own. Paulinus decides that the Iceni need to start paying taxes. When they refuse, the Romans hurt Boudicca and her daughters. The Iceni love their queen, and they are not happy about her being hurt or about having to pay taxes. So what I'd like you to do now is think of one of the characters you would like to be. Would you like to be Eileen, the slave? Would you like to be Milo, the soldier? Paulinus, the governor? Boudicca, the Iceni queen? Dressed, the farmer? Would you like to be the trader? And pretend to be that person for a moment. How has this affected you? Do you care that Prasutagus is dead? What do you think you're going to do about it? How do you feel? So if I was Paulinus, the governor for Rome, I'd feel quite happy, because that means that I don't have to go and fight a king. If I was the farmer, I would feel very, very sad, because the king of my tribe is now not here anymore. Think about the other characters. Are there any questions you wish to ask them? The destruction begins. Paulinus takes the Roman army to Wales. Milo is about to experience his first proper fighting as the Romans attack Anglesey. Boudicca asks all the men in the Iceni, including Drest, to form an army, and, with other tribes, she marches down to the Roman town of Colchester. There is a battle, in which the town is destroyed and many people are killed. Boudicca moves on to London and St. Albans and destroys those towns as well. Some of the people in London were warned to run, and Rastus manages to leave in time. But others were killed when the fighting started. Eileen escapes during the fighting and joins Boudicca's army to march north and fight the Romans. So think about how this has affected you. If you were Eileen, it has affected you a lot. You've run away from Paulinus. So you are free now, but if he finds you, he will surely kill you. If you are Dressed, then you can't stay on your farm anymore and have a peaceful life. You must fight and be part of battles. How do you feel about this? The final battle. Paulinus brings the Roman army back from Wales to fight Boudicca's army. There are 10 times as many Celts, and they are feeling confident. The Roman army is very well trained in fighting, though, and they win the battle. Many thousands of people die. The Roman Empire has survived. So think about the same questions. If you're Boudicca, how are you going to feel? How has it changed for you? You've lost your entire battle. Thousands of people have died. What can you do now? How would you feel? If you were Milo, you'd probably feel very happy that you have won the battle, but you might also feel a little bit sad because you like the Iceni people. So, now that it's all over, we're going to reflect on the events and how they affected the different characters. Think about these questions. Which character do you think will be pleased with the outcome? So who would be happy that the Iceni were defeated and that Rome won? Do you think Eileen would be happy? Do you think Paulinus would be happy? The next question says, will any of the characters have regrets about how things have turned out? So will they feel bad about what they have done? Maybe Boudicca might feel bad about making a battle in which many of her friends and her family have died. Maybe Eileen wishes that she had never run away from Paulinus, because now that the Romans have won, they might be able to find her. And we all know what happens if they find her. Do you think Milo might have regrets about killing the Iceni? Remember, they were very nice to him. Finally, what do you think the characters will do now? What do you think Boudicca would do? She has no people. The Roman Empire has taken over her land. She is no longer the queen. Where will she go? What will she do? What do you think Paulinus might do? If I were Paulinus, I'd write straight to the emperor and tell him of the fantastic news. So this is your task. You're going to choose a character to pretend to be, like you should have been doing for the whole presentation, and you're going to reflect on the events of the rebellion and explain how you were affected. Remember to imagine that you are the character and tell about the events from your character's point of view. So, if I was Eileen, and I'm pretending to be Eileen the slave, number 1 says, who was Prasutagus and how did his death affect you? Well, I'm a Roman slave. Paulinus is my master. I don't really care about Prasutagus. No, it hasn't affected me at all. Whereas if you were pretending to be Boudicca, it would be absolutely heartbreaking. You would feel beside yourself. You would feel down in the dumps. Maybe you would feel very angry. Number 2. Do you think it was fair that the Iceni had to start paying taxes to the Romans? Remember, you're not thinking as you are thinking as one of these characters. So maybe if you were Rastus, a Roman trader, would you care that the Iceni had to start paying taxes, which is money? Well, you might do, because that means they have less money to buy your things. So you might feel a little bit annoyed. Number 3. Do you think it was right for Boudicca to form an army to attack the Romans? If you do, then why? If you don't, then why not? Number 4. What happened during the first attacks? And how did you feel about the fighting? Number 5. And how did Tiber win the final battle? How do you feel about how it all ended? And lastly, number 6. What are you going to do now? Maybe if you are Milo, you might have decided that the battle was too gruesome, too violent for you. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to fight people all of your life. So he might go and become a farmer. He might go and become a general in the army. Maybe he liked the fighting. Think very carefully about your answers and write them in your books.